So Charleston White has spoken out about the Karmelo Anthony case once again. And I think people are making a huge mistake when it comes to Charleston White. You see, us people who have been here supporting Austin Metcalf since day one, we have heard all of these crazy fake stories about this case. We have heard so many lies coming from Karmelo's team and Karmelo's supporters, and we've gotten to the point where we've kind of grown numb. We've kind of tuned out their lies, not because we're closed-minded, but because we know there's no truth to it, right? I'm the type of person, I will always hear you out. And it's not like I've been trying to hide all of the stuff that Karmelo's supporters have been saying. I highlight it and I show you guys what they're saying in all of these videos. I've been doing that for months. I want you guys to be well aware of what the other side is feeling and saying when it comes to this case. But I understand that a lot of people, they have totally tuned out the Karmelo Anthony supporters, and I get it. And look, I'm not telling you that you got to listen to what these people say. But when it comes to Charleston White, I think everyone needs to hear him out. Now, before you jump to conclusions, I'm not saying that there's any truth to what Charleston White has been saying. But the difference between Charleston White and the other Karmelo supporters you see online is that Charleston White is directly connected to Karmelo's family. He actually is in contact with Karmelo's family and Karmelo himself. So the stuff that Charleston White is saying, it's not coming out of thin air. He's not just creating it in his mind. No, he's getting it straight from the source. Now, do I believe the source? Hell no. I think they're disgusting liars and creeps that have been spreading rumors about Karmelo's privates and stuff. It's weird. But when Charleston White talks, we need to listen. We need to listen closely. Because as crazy as what he says is, as stupid as what some of the stuff he says is, we have to remember that he's repeating talking points that he got directly from Karmelo or Karmelo's dad. So I want you guys to listen to Charleston White and make a mental note of the things that he's saying. Because at some point, Karmelo's family will probably try to distance themselves from some of what Charleston is saying, but Charleston is directly saying what he's been told to say by Karmelo's team, by Karmelo's family. So keep that in mind. And now Charleston has come out. He's speaking about the case again. He says that the footage will be released soon. The footage from, the stadium. I don't know how good we'll be able to see what happens in the footage. He's claiming that the footage is going to be released soon. And he's also claiming that he's now got some boxing trainer training Karmelo on how to fight. It's weird because they're claiming, oh, Karmelo's totally innocent. He has nothing to worry about. Karmelo's not going to jail. But we got the best boxing trainer we could find for him to teach him how to fight for when he goes to jail for the rest of his life. It's utterly bizarre. But like I said, do not tune Charleston White out. I know the stuff that he says can be very ignorant. I'm not telling you to believe what he says. What I'm telling you is when you hear what he says, understand it's not the delusional ramblings of Charleston White. No, it's the delusional nonsense that Karmelo and Karmelo's father is telling him to say on these videos. Now, I have a clip for you. I'm going to go ahead and roll it. But first, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you enjoy the videos, it's totally free. It takes 1 second of your time. Hit the like button, please. It helps the channel a lot. Drop a comment. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you really like the channel, if you want to help keep the lights on, you can always donate via Cash App or Super Thanks. Always greatly appreciated. With that being said, let's tune in and let's listen to Charleston White really quickly, and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
The video of Karmelo's Anthony and Austin Metcalf's incident is going to be released to the public. Nobody had really been advocating for the Karmelo Anthony family. There are a lot of details that are going to prove this kid is innocent all the way around. He going to be all right. So man, so I used to partner and work with a criminal defense mitigation specialist, and by this criminal defense mitigation specialist coming in, she has the ability and the power to interview both sides, and what the adults are overlooking, and what I find so ironic, you can't find no children nowhere speaking about it. You know why? They have been prohibited to speak, and they're silenced, because if they speak, this kid case is dropped tomorrow. So we had to bring in some very important people, highly respected in Collin County. Man, he needs some people that's from there, that know there. So man. So I had to, because he's on house arrest. I got one of the best boxing programs in Fort Worth, Texas. And Fort Worth is known as boxing. Shout out to Trent Road. So I went and got one of the best boxing programs that I pay weekly to go out there 2 times a week so he can train, self-defense training, get this out your head. And he's studying law. So I sent him books. I gave him the new Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander, which talks about the situation he in. School to prison pipeline. He's trapped in it. So I gave him this book to read. He's reading it like a motherfucker. I told him another book to read. One of my mentors, Dr. Miles Monroe, Understanding the Power and Purpose of a Man That Puts You to the Start Line, young brother. And he's so receptive. So, nah, man. He's they trying to pull me back into this shit. But I'm saying, man, just let me keep playing funny, man.
In my opinion, I think Charleston White is making a huge mistake here, because he is basically eliminating any doubt, right? Any doubt that there may be that Charleston White isn't getting this information from Karmelo's father, right? You know, before these videos, we could assume that this information's coming directly from Karmelo and his dad. We could assume that maybe he's getting paid off to say these things. We could assume a lot. And they should have left it right there, where we have to assume, we have to wonder, we don't know for a fact what's going on. But what Charleston White is doing right now is he's confirming for us. And he confirmed it multiple times in that 1.5 minute clip that you just watched. He confirmed multiple times that he is directly talking to Karmelo's dad and to Karmelo. So, understand that all of the wild stuff that he's been saying for the last week or so, all of those comments, now you could tie those comments for a fact, without a shadow of a doubt. You could tie everything Charleston White has said, you could tie it directly to Karmelo's father and Karmelo himself. Now, I thought we were supposed to be quietly chilling, waiting on the trial. Why is Karmelo's dad and Karmelo himself talking to Charleston White, putting all of this information out there? That's kind of interfering with a lot of what's going on here. That's not a good look. Now, Charleston White claims that everyone has been silenced about the case because if they speak up, it will look good for Karmelo. I agree with him. I know for a fact that everyone has been silenced. That's why we ain't hearing from people. But it's not because they're afraid that what they say will get Karmelo off. No, they're afraid that what they say will further incriminate Karmelo and make him look worse. I mean, unlike Charleston White, I've actually been following the case very closely. And we all remember, like within the first 3 or 4 days of this case happening, of this story breaking, we had one of Karmelo's classmates come out and say that Karmelo was known for fighting, and then bam, the media shut it down right then and there, never talked about the story again. You got local media there that stopped talking about the story completely once that one interview came out. Everyone is silenced because they're trying to protect Karmelo. And if you look at the details of this case, I don't care about the Jim Crow, oh my God, we're all victims because we're black and everyone's racist. I don't care about those nonsensical talking points that Charleston White is talking about, because at the end of the day, Charleston White doesn't even believe in any of that stuff if you listen to his older videos. At the end of the day, as they try to play the victim and stuff, Karmelo is getting treated better than anyone I've ever seen involved in a situation like this. He's getting special treatment. They're going out of their way to allow him to graduate, to allow him to not get expelled. All of these different things, okay? So when you see that, or when you hear that, yeah, people are being silenced, yeah, they are. Because they're desperately trying to protect Karmelo. We know how the media operates. They desperately protect criminals when they look a certain way, when they look like Karmelo. They'll call them baby-faced teenagers and stuff like that instead of murderers. So that nonsense you could throw completely out the window. As far as the video being released soon, I don't know how much that will change things. We've already heard descriptions of this video. I don't think we're all going to see it and come to a different conclusion than what the people who already saw it came to. So I don't think it's going to be a real game changer unless it's different footage. As far as the boxing classes go, Charleston White is trying to make it appear as if he's paying for the boxing classes and stuff like that. Look, I highly, highly doubt that's the case. I would bet that a lot of that money that, people donated to Karmelo, now we know another thing that it's being spent on. Now we know another thing that it's being spent on. We're going to train Karmelo to be a top-class boxer before he goes to jail for the rest of his life. That's the golden plan that they've come up with. And Charleston White doesn't say it in the video, but I highly doubt that just for no reason, after being totally against Karmelo, Charleston White wakes up one day, is totally pro Karmelo, and is now paying for his boxing instructions and stuff. No. Charleston White doesn't talk about this type of stuff for free. I believe Charleston White is paid, and I definitely believe that Karmelo's father, the weakling that he is, that allows another man to speak for him, two other men to speak for him, and allows his woman to speak for him, yeah, he's probably paying up to have people teach Karmelo how to box. Because at the end of the day, all of the confidence that they pretend to have, they don't really have that confidence, okay? If anything, you should be teaching Karmelo how to, I don't know, y'all should be preparing for him to go to college if you're that confident. Not teaching him how to box, not teaching him how to be more violent. But that's what they're doing because they're afraid that he's going to get bent over and freaking railroaded once he goes to prison. So it's funny to hear that that's where their mind is at right now. I could see like a Carmelo Anthony Rocky training montage. We need a montage. Eye of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight. And you just got Carmelo Anthony in the backyard doing boxing lessons with Charleston White. Absolutely ridiculous, but I mean, it's the Carmelo Anthony case. Of course it's ridiculous. It's on brand. You guys let me know what you think about all of this though down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.